Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to talk about Game 46 of the regular season. Rangers win 3-2 over the Seattle Kraken. Man, wow. Another one. Another game that you didn't deserve to win, but hey, we won this one, so I guess that's a positive. And no, I'm not going to ignore how poorly we played and how much we got outplayed by. I'll talk about that in a bit, but let's just hit all the key points first, right? Let's go goal by goal and period by period, starting in the first period where Alex Washburn takes a penalty. Rangers on a power play. We're passing it around. It's just going all around the offensive zone. Mika to Trouba, Trouba back to Mika, Mika to Trouba, Trouba to Panarin, Panarin cross ice, and a Mika one-timer. 1-0 Rangers. Man, oh man, Mika's one-timer's back. It is back, and boy, is it better than ever. 1-0 Rangers. Mika's 10th power play goal of the year and his 17th. Man, Mika's here, and it's so good to have this Mika back. And the Rangers finish the first period. We get outshot 14-6. We look bad in the first period yet again. And, I mean, we're sticking to the first period script, and I hate that first period script. And I actually am going to bring in a special guest to go over the first period script. Yeah, the whiteboard. It's made its triumphant return. I used this bad boy in like the first, 250, 300 videos on this channel. A very, very long time. Actually, neat little piece of channel history, which like 4 people will find interesting. This is the first item I bought with the sole purpose to be used on the channel. I'm not counting things like mics, computers, and desks and other stuff. Like, only intended for this here channel. It was this. Anyway, the Rangers checklist. Let's go over it, shall we? Number 1, get outshot. Very outshot in the first period. Well, 14-6. Hits that one for me, eh? Second one, get bailed out by the power play and Igor Shesterkin. Only goal was on the power play. Shesterkin faced 14 shots in the first period. Yup, we're hitting another one. And the third one is somehow lead after the first period. I'm not sure how we did, but it was 1-0 Rangers after the first period where we looked terrible and the Kraken just ran our show at home. It was in Madison Square Garden, and they still dominated us in the first period. So, I'm just going to hit that one again, and I'm not going to erase this because something tells me I'm going to have to use this again before the season's over. So we head now to the second period where the Rangers again looked pretty bad, but they would somehow gain a 2-goal lead early in the second period. 4:23 in, Kraken try to clear it out of the zone. It's stopped by Zach Jones, who played, and, Zach Jones, past couple games, showing why he should be one of the 6 defensemen and not Patrick Nemeth. Hopefully it stays that way. He stops the clearing attempt, settles it, gives it to Mika Zibanejad. He takes another shot with the one-timer. It's stopped by Philip Grubauer, but right in front, Alexis Lafreniere doing his best Chris Kreider impression. He puts it in, his 9th of the year. Lafreniere looked fantastic today. He had a really nice play on the forecheck late in the third period where he was just, he looked great. He had a takeaway in this game, I believe. Lafreniere looks great on the first line, scores here. It wasn't the prettiest of goals, but it was a goal. It counts all the same, and it was important because that would end up keeping the game tied, because the Rangers did the thing and gave up a multi-goal lead. But we're not going to talk about that yet. And my big question for this goal is, Philip, buddy, you're lost. Your home is the crease. Go home. You can see on his face that he's like, oh no. But hey, it doesn't really matter to me. Their suffering is our gain. Rangers, 2-0. So about 3 minutes later, the Kraken would cut the lead to 1. Rangers try to play it into the offensive zone. It's a sloppy throw-in. It's the checking line after all. What do you really expect? Kraken come out with it. Johansson has it. He plays it into the offensive zone, hands it to Jared McCann. McCann to Eberle with a beautiful centering pass back to McCann. Shesterkin gets a little bit of it, not enough of it. It goes in. It's 2-1. Rangers still have a lead, but the Kraken now have cut it in half. They're very much outplaying us. Now, I want to say this. This was a bit of a softie by Igor Shesterkin. I'm just going to be honest. I thought he could have had it. That being said, this was like the 25th shot of the game in the second period. I'm really not going to be that mad. We got outshot so horrifically today. Shesterkin allows a softie. I don't really care. Like, this was a 3-on-2 coming the other way. And to be quite honest, Igor's owed a softie like this. He can be mortal for, once a game and should still be able to win. This was just sort of an goal. If I had to put it on anything, it'd probably be either the forwards for just sloppy play like that or Shesterkin. But regardless, It's 2-1. Rangers still have a lead, but they would surrender it later on. So we head deep into the third period, just a hair over a minute left. Kraken are on a power play because Mika Zibanejad took a weak tripping call on Jared McCann. I thought it was just normal, rough stuff, but instead they call it a penalty. Kraken are on the power play. They have an empty net, which means it's 6-on-4. It's a beautiful pass over to Yanni Gourde. And here's the thing, right? I have harped on the defense being terrible, and Yanni Gourde is left wide open on this play. That being said, it's 6-on-4. You are down 2 guys. I'm not going to be critical of it because you can't do anything. This isn't even a normal power play where it's like, yeah, you're going to have to leave one guy. Your 2 guys have to be open. I'm understanding of it. It was a beautiful shot by Gourde. Shesterkin can do nothing here. I mean, what do you expect? It's a 6-on-4. It was just unfortunate, especially with a minute over to go. It was the 40th shot, and now it's tied. So I guess we're heading to over. 34 seconds left. Rangers face off in the offensive zone. Mika Zibanejad wins it. Keandre Miller gets it. And Keandre Miller has a choice to try to pass it around or go, no, screw it. I'm going for the net. And holy snipe, that is one of the prettiest goals I've seen for the Rangers this year. Miller, I mean, the only word you can say for that one is snipe. Top corner. That was a thing of beauty, and the Rangers retake the lead with 33 seconds to go. Time would tick away in the third period, and the Rangers, by a miracle, win the game. Now, let's start talking about that. Rangers win a game that they were really supposed to win. You're supposed to beat the Kraken. Rangers, you are supposedly a juggernaut in the Eastern Conference, a juggernaut in the Metro, right? Tied with the Hurricane for the Metro lead. Granted, they have 5 games in hand on us, but, be that as it may, right? 62 points. You're top of the NHL. You're top 10 league-wide. I want to say top 5, actually, league-wide. Yeah, you're 5th, right? You're this juggernaut, and you're playing the Kraken, who are the opposite of good. They have 34 points, and you have 62. That's a big difference there, you see. And we didn't deserve to win this game whatsoever. We got completely outplayed by the Kraken. They utterly demolished us. 42 shots on goal to 24. We looked bad. We played poorly again. The checklist is a checklist for a reason. It's there. We played poorly. We really did not deserve to win the game. I'm happy we did because guess what? Next game is, we're home playing the Florida Panthers, which, they're a really good team, and they're not fraudulent like we might be. I don't want to say we're fraudulent yet, but we're really getting to that point. Rangers today. What worked? What was good, right? Well, Alexis Lafreniere looked great. He had a couple shots on goal, led the team in expected goals according to Money Puck. He looked great. That first line with Alexis Lafreniere on it is just flying. He had a few really nice plays today for Alexis Lafreniere. I thought he looked great. Mika Zibanejad, 1-timers back, 3 points today, not too shabby. Keandre Miller with that beautiful snipe. Keandre Miller has 2 goals this year that are just gorgeous. There was the coast to coast, and now this one. He doesn't score much, but when he does, they're things of beauty. And I want to talk about Keandre Miller for a second because I love Keandre Miller, and I really think he's going to be good because he does stuff like this and that coast to coast goal. And really, I think his game is going to improve greatly when he realizes, oh, I'm a large guy, I can actually kill people. I don't think Keandre Miller is taller and has, I want to say, 15 pounds on Trouba. He's got 2 inches and 15 pounds on Jacob Trouba. Trouba, the train, man. As soon as Miller starts getting a little bit more confident and gets a little bit more developed, he could be a problem. He was also second behind Trouba today in ice time. I want to say he had over 23 minutes, 23:46. Not too shabby for the young kid. And the defense looked okay. I really didn't think the defense was too terrible. Right? The 2 goals, the McCann goal was more so the offense just not being able to actually go in to the offensive zone, but that, you can kind of look at the checking line. The Yanni Gourde goal, I'm not going to be too hard on you. I thought the defense looked okay. That's not, maybe we're grading on the bell curve because the defense in the past few games has looked horrible. The Miller-Trouba pair, I think, looks good. The Schneider Lingard pair, I think looks pretty good. Obviously, Fox is going to be better than Schneider, but I think Schneider proves his point. He should be on this team. I really think once Fox gets back, the pair should be Fox Lingard, Keandre Miller, and Schneider and Zach Jones. I beg of you, Rangers, please continue that. Speaking of which, I wanted to mention this little play for Ryan Lingard because it really made me happy. There was a play early in the first period, nasty cross check, right? We're right around our own goal, and maybe it was their goal, but he just gets a nasty cross check to the back, thrown to the ice, and he gets up, and you can tell that he's mad, and he wants to just drop the gloves with the guy or start roughing him up. And you can see the exact moment where he decides, wait, no, I am essentially the number one defenseman right now. I can't do that. And that was just a nice little bit of maturity from Ryan Lingard that you can tell. He is a great defensive defenseman. Ryan Lingard is a steal for the contract we have him at. And that little bit of maturity was just like, okay, he's really growing. And that was just such a, I don't know, it was just really notable to me. And I wanted to shout it out because that could have been bad. You know, that was before we scored. So that could have been, the Kraken get a power play there. They go up first. Who knows? Last thing I talk about, or at least before I get to Shesterkin, obviously I want to talk about the first line. It's great. Please don't change it a bit. Loff, Mika, and Kreider look fantastic. I mean, Mika was on the ice for all 3 goals and had something to do with all 3 goals. Granted, one of them was a power play, so it doesn't really affect that one. But, man, the 3 of them together just look fantastic. And Igor Shesterkin, the star of the show. You guys know that meme of the building being held up by like 3 iron bars, like big steel beams, and those are the only things holding a building up, and you're like, how is that possible? That's Igor Shesterkin this year with the Rangers. He's all 3 of those steel beams. He is near single-handedly dragging us to a playoff spot this year. 40 of 42. He has a career record of 9-0 when having 40-plus saves. How is that a thing? How do you do that? And today, again, Shesterkin, absolutely unbelievable. I'm running out of things. The topic this year has been pounding the table of Igor for Vezina. I still am not in the camp yet, but if he keeps bailing the Rangers out like this, the debate of Shesterkin for Hart, I can see that at the end of the tunnel at this point. I'm starting to see why that's a debate. Because without Shesterkin, the Rangers don't win this game. We played bad. The Kraken ran our show. But Igor Shesterkin bailed us out, and the Rangers get a win. That was it. That was the full thing. Now, I'm kind of irritated because, you dropped the game to Columbus. That was bad. You really needed to beat them. You dropped the game to the Wild. That was heartbreaking. You barely squeak by against a bottom-dwelling team like the Kraken, but even though you win, you get destroyed. Shots on goal, guys. I can't stress this enough. 42-24. Midway through the second, like towards the end of it, I want to say they had 50 shot attempts. God only knows how many they had at the end of the game. Like, you gotta button this up if you want any hope to even compete against Florida Tuesday. Which, that's a neato segue. That's all I have for today. Florida, coming to town this Tuesday, 7 o'clock. I'll talk about it after the game. And that's all I got for today. So, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Rangers.